Surprisingly, we are back again already. Yeah, so when I started playing Charles Mingus, uh, and then with Miles and Coltrane, you learn about Paul Chambers and Jimmy Garrison. Um, there's another guy whose just name it's not coming to me right now. But anyways, uh, and so I got an upright pretty early. Um, Probably my second or third bass that I ever got was upright. Yada yada. So my first bass Fender Jazz made in Mexico, made in the late '90s. That's how it started. Uh, so the original neck on that was the first time I ever tore the frets out of something and did a conversion. Um, there used to be a music store in town that had like a lot of cheap used sort of junky stuff. Like I could go there and pick up a bass for like $75 or $100, and part it out or project it and do stuff with it. And so I had a P bass clone that I defretted to the kind of up to the seventh or ninth fret, so the high register was fretless, and the low register was still had its frets. I had, I believe it was an Ibanez acoustic bass, a 32 inch, and it had a really flat, like a 20 radius. Um, and so at some point I took the frets out of that. Uh, I put a metal, adjustable bridge on it. At one point, I had. Um, I should have looked up the name of the instrument, but like, there's a six-string Mexican folk instrument where three strings are like rubber and three strings are metal, and I got a hold of a set of that, and I had that on the acoustic bass while it still had the piezo attached, and then I tore that out, and I put the bridge on, and I put the single coil off a J Trusser 51 copy. The J Trusser, which I just parted out and got rid of, and gave to a guy as a who does projects. And So the J Trusser got defretted, got a humbucker. Anyways, so yeah, the J Trusser fretless was my main bass for a little bit. The Fender with the original jazz neck fretless was uh, my main bass for a little bit. Um, but it's been a little bit since I played fretless. And anyways, so um, I had my one experience with Sire is a few years ago. My friend, uh, the wife reached out to me and said, "Hey, our kid's turning 16. We asked him what he wants for his birthday, and he had like a Squire Bronco or something, a 30 inch, little starter bass, and I think he was turning 16, 15, 16, and he wanted a big boy bass, and so I was like, all right, give me a budget. I gave them four options in their budget, but I also said, hey, if you spend $50 more on this Sire, it's got a roasted maple neck, and like, you know, you can always put better hardware on it. You can always change the pickup, but like, this is a bass that he could have for the rest of his life. And so then I got to, and that's what they got. They followed my sage advice and spent a little bit more money on the bass. Uh, and so, anyways, So I got to play it, and it's got the rolled edges or whatever, and I liked it. I used it for church at least once. The other thing, that same kid and his like Bronco, his cheap little Squire. Um, Years ago, I had to do. I didn't have to, but I got to do. A guy at a church down the road had passed, and so I got to substitute and play his memorial service, and um, and so I took the fretless, the J Trusser 51 with the humbucker I dropped in, but I knew it was going to be a long set list, and so sometimes you want round wounds and you want frets, and so but I didn't want to take the Fender because it's all sticker bombed Frankenstein or whatever, and this was somebody's memorial service, so I took the little cheap black bass, and I ended up using it on I think two songs, maybe three. So there was just a couple songs where it's like, okay, I need to have um, I need to have some round wound with frets. Okay, so anyways, but it kind of that was a big thing when I started shopping and ended up getting a Reverend. Is that there's just going to be times that I don't want to show up with stickers and craziness all over my bass. So, anyways, all right. So I just got rid of the J Tresser, but I'm always shopping, and I kind of had a hole in my toolbox for fretless. So in the meantime, on Sweetwater, there's this Sire uh, Z7, which is their Music Man knockoff, and it's got if you can even see them. There's a little place up by the bridge where they didn't get the lacquer on all the way, and down here, oh, if you can find it. Oh, there, I just, yeah, you gotta get the right angle. There's a little nick in the steel plate there. Okay. So, ding and scratch. A couple defects, and so they took $150 off. Alright, that's cool. Uh, and then I went back and I looked again, and nothing new, but that Z7 was still sitting there. And then the other day I woke up, and probably because we're going into Black Friday and all that, the 150 off had jumped to 250 off, and so I got it. Like I didn't, but it wasn't. Yeah, I hadn't had coffee yet. There. I'm not saying like there was a moment where I thought it was a dream or whatever, but there definitely was a moment where I was drinking my coffee, wondering what I had just done. Anyways, should try to land this plane. I haven't played it yet. I haven't messed with the electronics. I did get it out of the box, but I don't want to handle it and warm it up with my body temp and all that. Uh, but all right, I did take the pick guard off. One because it's got that plastic wrap, and um, the routing, they're generous holes, but they're not bad. They're not enough where I'm worried about catching myself in there. Oh, I had to write something. I had to remind people about something at work, and I had to remember. So that's why there's something used to be written on permanent marker in my hand the other day. Anyways, so the routing holes are generous, but it isn't a big cavity thing. So I am not gonna put that pick guard on. Here's my thing with the Music Man. I never liked the egg shaped pick guards. I don't like pick guards anyways. And then the other thing is I need I need at least a middle or preferably a neck pickup. Uh, and so yeah, this has, and actually I think that's probably a little bit forward. You know, I, yeah. Hopefully that's a good sweet spot. Um, yeah, 10 minutes is enough rambling. I think I've made all my points without oversharing. Good enough for YouTube.